House. When John and Elizabeth Turton moved to Oak House in 1634, they were part of the middling sort. The Turton family were wealthy farmers, but they were also industrialists. They owned a number of mills and were well known as nail makers. But John was quite determined to push the family's social status even higher. He wanted to be a gentleman and he wanted to make the family even wealthier. One way they would be able to show off their wealth and their status was by what they were wearing. This outfit is the kind of thing Mistress Turton might have worn when she was being seen, when they were going out to visit people or where important people were coming to visit them. It's probably not the kind of thing Mistress Turton was wearing on a Tuesday afternoon at Oak House, unless somebody important was coming, of course, and it's probably not the kind of thing she was wearing if she was out in the herb patch, picking herbs for the kitchen. It certainly was an important gown. The first thing that you notice about it that would have been striking to anyone seeing her is the fact that it's black. Black dye was extremely expensive. In fact, it's the most expensive colour that you could get. It took quite a lot of effort to create black fabric because dyes had to be mixed and fabric had to be dyed over and over again to get a true black colour, which made it rather costly. So if you could afford black fabric for your clothes, it certainly stood out that you were one of the wealthy. The next thing that's rather obvious, Mistress Turton's outfit, is the lace around her collar and cuffs. This would have been, again, extremely expensive. Lace has to be handmade, and it takes a long time to make. So either it's the sort of thing Mistress Turton might have made herself, in which case it meant that the family could afford for the mistress of the house to sit and make lace rather than help out on the farm, or of course it means that she's wealthy enough to pay somebody else to do it for her. And the amount of lace she has too shows that she's wealthy enough to afford quite a lot. Not only would it have been on her collar and her cuffs, but also on the bonnet she would wear on her head. On top of her head, on top of the bonnet, she would also have worn a hat. Now, the classic hat that you might see in the 17th century is this kind of hat, associated with the Puritans. Now, the Turton family were in fact Puritans, which is why they like to show off their wealth in a modest kind of way. So although it would have been very clear to people that this outfit was really expensive, it is more of a Savile Row suit than a Vivienne Westwood. However, although Mistress Turton may well have worn a hat like this, these were worn by men and women, it wasn't just Puritans that wore hats this shape. It was just a fashionable hat at the time. If you look at pictures of the gunpowder plotters, they're wearing hats that are a very similar shape, and they certainly were Catholics. Another shape of hat that might have been worn at the time by both men and women was this more sort of cavalier or musketeer type hat. Now, you might have worn a feather in either your Puritan style hat or your musketeer type hat. It just again showed some wealth and status. So Mistress Turton is now ready to go out. She has her black outfit showing how wealthy she is. She has her posh and expensive lace showing how wealthy she is. And she also has her hat to show off how wealthy she is. Because of course you had to be of a certain status to be able to wear a beautiful hat like this. So she's ready to go.